Yeah, she loves it when he says that. What do you like on the show today, Sarita?
Your Kings of the North, the Chicago Bears. I bet they're leading the show.
Oh, dale, papi.
What a bleep is wrong with Jared Goff and the Rams?
All right, it's Jared Goff, and it is what the bleep is wrong with them. That was a little bit confusing last night. Also confusing, you're not used to seeing a quarterback who was an MVP candidate slump. You're not used to seeing someone who was an MVP candidate be the worst passer in the league the last 3 weeks. He's been bad since that Kansas City game, and here's the reason. Todd Gurley in that Kansas City game was barely used. He was a decoy, but he opened everything up. Todd Gurley was not healthy yesterday, didn't look healthy, didn't run healthy. And if you take Todd Gurley, the real MVP, out of the huddle, you're going to see a Jared Goff that looks a little more like 2 years ago than it does right now.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The last 3 weeks, 1 touchdown, 7 interception for a guy that used to be an MVP candidate. Add in that they've got 1 sack in the last 2 weeks, so they're not pressuring opposing quarterbacks at all. While Goff is getting pressured, and defenses are catching up to offenses across the league, and specifically what you're seeing is when Jared Goff gets pressured and he has to look to that second, third read while he's under pressure, he cannot ad-lib. He is throwing directly into coverage. This is showing up now because the play calling was so novel before that defenses couldn't figure it out. Now that they're figuring it out, and now that Gurley is not 100% healthy, everything is falling apart for them. They can't convert on third down, they can't get pressure on the opposing quarterback, and they're not a balanced team. This is a problem.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, because this team is really good at a lot of different places. It's not just that Goff has been inaccurate, imprecise. You're used to seeing precision from that offense and accuracy from him. It's the disaster plays. He's not valuing the football. He's doing things that are costing them points. And so it's not enough to be average. He's been bad, flatly bad.
I saw the game in a different light. I don't think that he was that bad. I think that they used the right quarterback, the Eagles. They got Nick Foles there. He was the man that made the difference, That's it.
Which leads us directly into our next question, which is about Nick Foles. Perfect timing from my father.
Do the Eagles need to start considering Nick Foles over Carson Wentz for the long term?
Okay, so that was the other side of the football. And what I saw last night from Nick Foles in a season that's been very confusing for the Philadelphia Eagles is, instead of just Ertz, he was using Jeffrey. Carson Wentz doesn't throw the ball to Alshon Jeffrey. They got to the Super Bowl with Alshon Jeffrey being an uncoverable wide receiver because of his size. And you saw the enthusiasm on him last night because he's like, feed me, finally, feed me. That guy wants Nick Foles to be his quarterback.
Here's the problem. As much as you can want Nick Foles to be your quarterback in the short term, it's kind of like wanting someone to be your boyfriend on Bachelor in Paradise. You are getting the very best of that person for a very short amount of time. And as soon as you get back to the real life, everything goes downhill. And that about sums up Nick Foles. It's amazing what he does when he is thrust into the starting position late in a season. Unfortunately, he's not been able to do it over the entirety of a season, and he's worth $20 million next year. So the Eagles have a very difficult decision to make with a Wentz who's always hurt and I believe is 5-6, and a Foles who's Bachelor in Paradise guy.
You mean to tell me the Eagles are going to get him that cheap next year, only $20 million?
Only $20 million. It's underpaid.
That's a hell of a deal. You better sign him up quick.
That's right
if
there.
I were the Eagles, I'll sign him up before next game.
A good agent. A good agent.
The iron will still have.
I got a better slogan.
That's right.
Super Foles wins Super Bowl.
That's right. Super Foles wins Super Bowl.
Much better than strike while the iron is hot.
That's right.
Makes no sense.
Do you have more confidence in the Patriots or Steelers?
I know how you're looking at this. The Patriots have done it again and again and again, even though Tom Brady's seasons have ended 3/4 of the time with him not winning the Super Bowl. You're used to seeing the Patriots when it matters. But this is what I would tell you. The Ringer pointed this out today. Not since 2010 have the Patriots not had a bye and then a couple of home games. They always have a bye. They're always playing 2 games in the playoffs, usually at home. This team has shown you nothing this year that Gronkowski in this condition and Tom Brady finally aging a little that would suggest they can win games on the road in the playoffs, and they're going to have to play them this year, and that does not bode well for them.
Not only have they not shown you this year that they can win games on the road, finishing with a sub-500 record on the road, but since 2006, they're 0-3 in road playoff games. This is a totally different team in Foxborough. Every time they've won the Super Bowl, they've had the #1 seed and a bye to start out, and they've enjoyed home field field advantage the entire time. This team is not going to be effective on the road, and we are seeing the very quick demise of a lot of very good players, Gronk number one among them.
The last time, the Ringer pointed this out, that the Patriots did not play 2 games in the playoffs and had to play 3, Cam Newton wasn't even in the league.
Oh, Belly, he blew it again, you know.
Belichick, yes.
I'm
How did he
sorry,
He
blow it?
blew it again. He needed
Belichick.
a taller tight end. You know what I mean? And Brady kept throwing the high the passes, and Gronkowski couldn't catch them.
They
You know,
gotta
you
get
need
a
an
bigger
8-foot,
tight
at least
end.
an 8-foot tight end.
You
That's
need
what
an
you
8-foot
need there.
tight end.
That's the
That's
key.
right.
That's the
That's
key.
right.
You know, we
That's
got
how
to
you
be
keep
playoff,
Tom
you know.
Brady till
You better
50.
start looking who's
That's right.
available now.
That's right. 9-footers. Go
That's
looking
right.
for 9-footers.
They call this guy a genius.
Make him
What
bigger.
has he ever done? This
Who's
guy?
going to cover
That's
the
right.
9-footer?
Who? Tell me. That's
Tell
the key.
me. See?
Moving
He
forward.
knows.
Were we too quick to crown the Cowboys?
They get crushed by the Colts, and the Colts are playing very well over the last 8 games after starting 1-5. But I would say this to you: there are 10 good teams in the NFL. The Cowboys are in the second tier of the good teams. And going back to road games, who are the teams in the league that you look at and say, I trust them to win on the road? The Chargers, the Saints, teams like that. The Chiefs, you don't trust this team to
Bears.
not go into the playoffs. Oh, the Bears. The Bears, she says. No, not the Bears. You don't trust them to go on the road either and win on the road. You trust them to win in the cold. You look at what's happening here with the Cowboys. They went into Indianapolis and played a team that is playing as well as the teams you're going to meet in the playoffs, and they got smoked.
This team depends on defense and running the ball. And guess what you can't do when you get behind? Run the ball over and over. You put into the hands of Dak Prescott. They've struggled in the red zone, and this is when the issues happen. Of course, we were too quick to crown them. They had a hot stretch, and depending on what part of the season you have that hot stretch, people decide whether it matters or not. They think it matters more now, and it often does, but you come up against a team like the Colts, they blank you for the first time in 15 years. Blank you being shut you out, not fill in the blank for whatever swear word I
That would be
wanted to use.
bleep you, not blank you, but it works the same.
Either way, you get the point. Yes, we crowned him too fast. We should be crowning the Bears instead.
She is so mad. She is rebelling
How are we
against
this many
best-
topics
How?
in and we haven't talked about the
They beat
team
Aaron Rodgers.
that's winning everything
I
and beating
banned
the
it.
best
I
team?
personally, I censored the document before the show. No bad Aaron Rodgers talk.
BS.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable, bowl and some extra sauce.
Yeah. I'm always here for extra sauce. That doesn't surprise you at all, does it?
The Packers legend Leroy Butler asked a legit question about Aaron Rodgers.
So wait. We're finally talking about the Bears, but we're not even talking about
Not
the Bears.
really. No,
we're talking about the team that lost again.
Packers great. That's right, because it's the Aaron Rodgers show around here, and this dude is blaspheming against my patron saint, and I will not have it on a television show with my father. Here is Leroy Butler saying, I mean, really, if you can't outplay Mitch Trubisky, how good are you? Aaron's only job is to outplay the other quarterback. Do you agree?
No.
You will never win scoring 17 points. It is fair to question the Green Bay offense. 17 points is not enough in a game where you have to win the rest of your games. But Aaron Rodgers has not been healthy this year, and you have seen by percentages, if Aaron Rodgers is 80 or 85%, what you're going to get is a Packers team that can't get the customary 10 wins.
If the NFL was about whichever team wins has the better quarterback, the standings would look a whole lot different, right? So it's not mano-a-mano. It's about the teams, and the Bears are a much better team. Aaron Rodgers needs more help. Aaron Rodgers needs better play calling. Aaron Rodgers needs better protection. And also, he throws the ball away a lot to keep up that lack of interception streak, but the Bears still found a way to break it. So congrats on that.
They
that
did.
felt good.
Because Khalil Mack is a monster. He had a sack with his back.
Back sack.
He's got 12 and a half sacks this year, and Field Yates points out, you know how many the Raiders have? 11, and Mack missed a couple of games.
Well, I tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to be Joe Philbin today. Probably Aaron Rodgers is going to fire his because he lost a game, you know? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He wants a new coach now.
Yes, get him out of there.
Does Lamar Jackson's success feel sustainable?
It does not feel in any way sustainable when you've got a quarterback that is winning some and playing the way Baltimore wants to, which is holding the ball, running the game, time of possession, and let their defense play. but he's running more than any quarterback has ever run in the history of the league. It's 18 carries for 95 yards, and the 5-game sample, he's averaging 17 carries. The other guy in his huddle, who's his backup, is proof that you cannot play that way because Robert Griffin got hurt. Now, he is avoiding some contact, but you cannot play this way over a sustained period in that league without getting hurt. Russell Wilson did it a little bit at the beginning, but you'll notice he never got hit hard. You can't run this much in this league and avoid all of the violence.
The question is his success sustainable? And the answer is probably yes, but we have to see a whole lot more development on the passing side. The means by which he has thus far achieved this success are not sustainable. Running 100 yards a game as a quarterback, setting yourself up for injury, whether it's the wear and tear on your legs or the number of hits you take, that's not going to be sustainable. But we do know is this is a guy who was inserted midway through the season into a starting position and probably has a pretty limited playbook because of that. And so they're going to play to his strengths, especially when it's taken him to a 4-1 record with him under center. When he's got a whole offseason to work on the other side of his game, there's no reason to believe this success isn't sustainable, especially if they alter the means by which he's getting it.
You get a lot of people in this league who credit coaches for being better than they actually are. Across 2 decades, the Ravens have been a very well-run organization. They changed the players, and here they've changed the way that they play offense from a quarterback who wasn't anything like this to the one who's the polar opposite. It's pretty impressive that they can keep doing that.
Well, I know someone else who's running is not sustainable.
Who's running is not sustainable.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Come on.
That's right.
It wasn't an ice cream truck that time.
He needs more oxygen.
It was the chicken parmesan truck I was chasing that time.
Are the Browns on being the Browns?
It is interesting. They are not the team, obviously, that won 1 game over 2 years. And what you have is a difference in attitude and play from the quarterback position. The Browns have been a laughingstock for a long time, more than anyone in the league, because they can't get their quarterback situation straight. It's straight now. Baker Mayfield can play in this league, can win on the road against a Denver team that also needed that game very badly, and a defense that won a championship, even if it's a little bit tattered from that time. Baker Mayfield can play, and if you have a quarterback who's got a future in this sport, then you've got a future.
Just like RG3, we knew his rookie year that it was going to mean sustained success for whoever. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I have that wrong. Listen, the Browns are still the Browns until they actually do anything that would be considered a success on any other team. And guess what? They're still sub 500. I feel great about their future. I look forward to the Browns mattering. But right now, if they did exactly what they did this year for 5 years in a row, they would be the Browns still. You have to win games. You have to go to the playoffs. You have to be a contender. And until they're actually doing that, they're just the promise of potential. And hasn't that kind of been the idea for the Browns every year they suit up and say this is going to be different?
She's right about everything she gave you in terms of details. The one that she's leaving out, though, is they're young. They will improve. The quarterback play is going to get better. That team has a lot of talented youth, and I expect it to be better next year.
Are you kidding me? The Browns making the playoff? If they make the playoff, it won't feel like the playoff at all. You know. So
They ruined the playoffs.
That's
Wow.
ruined
My
the whole
father
thing.
is
So what
saying-
are these guys doing here?
Okay, well, get them out of here.
That's
That's not the playoffs
for the last
anymore.
20
It
years.
can't
Where
be
did
the
they
playoffs.
come from? You
It
know.
can't be the playoffs.
You've
if the
soiled
Browns
it.
are playing. Get out of here.
Browns.
Their hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that had way too much fun on Saturday night. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
I'm still hungover. So's he.
Do you question if we should have expected more out of a 40-year-old kicker, Sebastian Janikowski?
Janikowski is how you pronounce it. He's been in the league a long time because he's 40 years old. Also, he is zealously committed to the Body by Dan program. And look at this here last night as the Seahawks lose on the road to the 49ers because football. Here's Sebastian,
comes.
the last
I
line
got
of
it.
defense.
Oh,
Oh, never mind. Oh, I was distracted. Is there a fridge over there someone can open for me where I can?
That looks a lot like, wait, hold on. Go back to that tape of Dan running. It looks real.
It looks
do
just
you
like
question
me.
if we should have expected more from a 50-year-old radio host? Is the question.
Who looked better? Go ahead and superimpose them side by side. Who looks better running? And tell me, 10 years older, this man doesn't bring it better than that man. Okay, he doesn't really because Janikowski's pants weren't falling down. That's why.
You know who is not afraid of hitting someone? Marcos Mariota.
Oh, Boppy's guy.
That's right. That's my guy.
That's right.
Here he comes.
And this right here is why Marcus Mariota is questionable every week for the rest of your life and his career. Don't play like that,
Yeah,
Marcus.
get some.
Nothing on your body works right. Stop doing that.
Do you question if number 19 had the right idea?
Boppy had the over in this game. It was 100. Boppy had the over. They didn't quite get there. Let's check in Division II. Valdosta State is on defense in black.
Campbell being flushed out.
And did number 19 have the right idea?
Tough throw and ill-advised.
What a disaster.
no. Why?
Yes, well,
Why?
I mean,
No.
I could have thrown it to one of his guys. Can we go back to the original, though? I want to see him stewing in his own juices, just sitting there watching the play. Look at how he lands. So he has to watch this dude catch what he's just done. Watch where he lands. I've got the best seat in the house for my shame.
Shame. I'm going to say no. Not the right idea.
Well, I saw a better interception this weekend.
Did you? Where?
That's right. Look at that.
Ah, it's your boy.
Oh, no, that
that's
is not
sorry.
better. That's horrifying.
That's
Jimmy
right.
Graham's fault. Catch that ball, Jimmy Graham. It was right in your hand.
How many was that?
He hit you on the hands,
402
Graham.
straight passes, and
Catch a
it's
ball, Graham.
ruined. Absolutely
right.
ruined, just like your season.
Wow, aggressive at the end. No need for that.
They got Aaron Rodgers in that play. I love when they do that.
I
you
know,
know what I mean?
she seems
That's
to love
right.
it too. Dancing has broken.
That's right.
Dancing
That's
has
right.
broken out
That's
among
right.
the haters. Look at no.
Ah!
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. It's something that didn't work.
Time to play the game that could still be done in one-on-one. See? Oh no.
He does. Sometimes he just wrestles me to the ground in the living room. You tell us what to watch on television tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued.
Tonight on ESPN, Monday Night Football, Saints and Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers have lost a lot to the Saints. 3 times just last year they lost to the Saints. And Cam Jordan, who plays for the Saints, likes to send taunting gifts to Cam Newton. Cam Newton doesn't seem to like him very much.
If you need any type of boost, spooce, kind of chip on your shoulder versus this game, I have a constant reminder each and every day when I look at my locker that I was gifted last year. And can't wait. Yeah, it was one. And they sent a broom, too. So, I ain't take the pack off, so I'm going to rescind to the sender if everything gets taken care of the way we know we can do it.
Wow, took his money, took his soul, took his enthusiasm. That was sad Cam Newton. Sarah, are you intrigued?
I'm intrigued as to whether he started drinking it before the press conference, because I think he invented the word spoose.
Bobby, are you
What is
intrigued?
spoose?
Oh, see.
I want it with orange spooce, I say, when at the end of the night. Bobby, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. My sources told me that Ron Rivera's job is on the line. You know what I mean? If they lose tonight, Riverboat Ron could be in real trouble. His boys are going to back him up all the way.